Hello, high school sports fans. This is the U.S. Cable Prime Time Game of the Week. I'm Joe Wells alongside Mark Smith. We're at Merrillville High School as the Duneland Conference matchup starts off tonight. The Valparaiso Vikings travel into Merrillville to see the Pirates in action tonight. Tonight's ball game sees the Valparaiso Vikings sitting at 5-0, ranked number 3 in the state. A hot duo up top, Tim Bishop and Bryce Drew, both bombing from Freeland, while Merrillville, on the other hand, sits at 2-2, and the big man inside, Brett Fedak, from the big scores for them, along with TJ Lux.
It's going to be the perimeter game of Valparaiso. Great three-point shooting team, the best in Northwest Indiana, against the size of Merrillville. They are 6'6", 6'7". They can go 6'6", 6'6", and 6'7", but tonight they won't. They're basically will go with a three-guard offense with Brett Fedak, their 6'5" scoring leader. He will be a swingman between guard and forward all night long. Big game in the Duneland Conference, the opener, but this could decide the league race this year. We just don't know yet.
The matchup looks to be great with the way they're going to match up on the outside, inside. Here's the way the numbers look up.
Valparaiso, a big scoring team, 81 points. They've won all 5 games so far, as you see, rated number 3 in the state. 46 three-point goals. That's Auburn 9 a game, and the percentage is the big deal. Valparaiso shoots 57% from three-point range. And coming into tonight, Valparaiso's won their last 5. Merrillville's won their last 16 at home, so something's going to have to give tonight.
Talking among some of the crowd out here, a lot of fans talking back and forth in the lobby. A lot of respect between these two teams. Are looking for a good showdown. They want to see a show, the big long-range bombing of Valparaiso combined with the slam jam inside of Merrillville.
Some say he's among the 50 best in the nation. Some say he's number 1 in the state. At the Merrillville practice on Thursday, we asked the longtime coach Jim East on just what plans he had to go against Bryce Drew tonight. Here's what he had to say.
Gimmicks. We got gimmicks. You cannot play them as a normal team. They're not a normal team. I mean, they're shooting higher from three-point land, and probably any team in the state is shooting from two-point land. How can you shoot 57% from three-point range? I don't know. It just blows my mind. Bryce Drew is shooting 67% from three-point. Obviously, our goal is not to give them those three-pointers, at least contest every shot. But that's been our defensive plan as long as I've been here. We want to contest shots. Last year, team shot 35% against us for the year. That's outstanding. We want to bring that percentage in that range sometime throughout the year. We'd like to have at least 40%. So we're going to contest shots. We don't want any second effort shots, but they're pretty good at doing that as well. I think you're going to see maybe 3 of the finest perimeter players in central part of the state on up. And Bryce Drew, to my knowledge, there's not a player in the state, and that includes a young man down at Vincennes, that would deserve more votes for Mr. Baxter.
Heard from Mr. East himself right there. Man to watch out for on the Pirates, but on the other side, it's Bryce Drew. He's wearing number 25 in the green and white across the court from him. That'll be a man matching up against him.
Yeah, that's Ryan Shelton imitating Bryce Drew. Bryce, again, 6'3", about 160 pounds. He had some heart-related problems last year, but all that's cleared up now, and it's really shown in his first few games. He's run off games of 27, 14, 31 against Roosevelt, 38 against East Chicago, 26 against Chesterton. And I'm not sure who's going to match up against him tonight, whether they'll go big, and maybe we'll see the top 2 scorers, Brett Fedak, who's 6'5", matching up against Bryce Drew, maybe Torrey Hughes is 6'4", or whether they'll go small, maybe the guard Jeff Gronowski or Mike Guernsey. Gronowski's 6 foot, Guernsey's 5'11". Whether they'll go small against Bryce Drew or big against him, he's a key match tonight.
I think the big matchup with Bryce Drew as well, an extra tool in the weapon bag here for Valparaiso is Tim Bishop. Right now he leads the team in three-pointers, also in shooting percentage, so it's a double threat offensive Merrillville has to contend with tonight.
There you see the game so far for both teams. The Pirates beat Munster but then lost on the road to Raleigh. A crushing loss at Roosevelt when they had a big lead in the fourth quarter. But then they got it back. They came from behind last week on a primetime game of the week. They came from behind to beat Andrean 53-50. It was a big one. Brett Fedak 6 steals in that game, and the 6th steal clinched the game. And Valparaiso has huge wins. The win over East Chicago was the first time they'd ever beaten East Chicago since the 2 schools have consolidated. So Valpo is flying high. They're thinking of a long, extended run in the playoffs. But first they want that Duneland Conference Championship, and the first step is here tonight in the shiny new Merrillville Pirate Gym. As all the pregame talk said, this will be a big matchup to start the season off in the Duneland Conference, and you won't want to miss a single bit. And the tip-off's coming up in just a minute after this time out on U.S. Cable Primetime Game of the Week.
And back for tonight's U.S. Cable Prime Time Game of the Week, the Duneland Conference first game of the season between Valparaiso and Merrillville. As we're at Merrillville High School, I'm Joe Wells, Mark Smith alongside tonight's ball game. Just finishing the pregame festivities, ready to start things off. They'll be introducing the starting lineup in just a few moments.
And as far as the Pirates are concerned, a big game. I think it's almost bigger to Merrillville than it is to Valparaiso. Obviously, Valparaiso doesn't want to lose. They want to stay the number 3 team in the state. But Merrillville, a team looking for an identity. A lot of these boys did not play last year, except for Brett Fiedick. They all didn't play last year. A win here could really boost them to an outstanding season. A loss, again, they'll have to look further. They'll have to look to further games to establish that identity, to really move and jump up over the hump. There you see that these two are outstanding programs. There's no question about that. Pirates 22-5 last year, the best record in the 13 years under Jim East, and the 17-4 before that was an outstanding season as well. Coach Bob Punter with Bryce Drew in tow and Tim Bishop, they've really fired up the last 2 years, 33-11 and 5-0 this year. So these are high-quality programs, big schools, and we got a big school matchup here tonight. And when you talk about the programs, it goes all the way down the line. The future, saying the future for Merrillville is so bright they need shades. Check it out.
Look at those
7th
records.
grade, 14-2. 8th grade, 16-0. That's last season. And again, 8th grade is Harrison Junior High. There's Pierce Junior High. They had a winning record as well. JV, Mike Hackett, 17-3 last season. A lot of those boys are on the varsity now. And for Valparaiso, Bob Hunter, 17-7. The JV, 13-7. Two different freshman teams, and combined they only lost 3 games. These are tremendous programs.
When you're a scout in a program like these teams have, you see those records of the upcoming groups. That is scary when you look at them across the area to see what you'll be battling in the years to come. Ready for the starting lineups coming out. You talk about the matchup of this game and the speed, something I haven't seen in a while. If you look down the tunnel before they all came out on the floor, the officials were out running wind sprints on the hallway, warming up before the game. So if the officials are out there jogging before the game, it's going to be a tough one.
That is interesting. There's Bryce Drew, the All-Stater, rated among the top 50 players in America. A major college Division I prospect. Ryan Erdelak, a forward, 6'2". Nobody over 6'3". David Furlan, the other forward, 6'3". His sister Lisa was a great girls player a couple years ago, and Mark Bernison is the center. He's 6'3". So again, a small team, but a perimeter team. They will shoot from distance, and they are very highly skilled, and you'll see that.
A lot of that distance shooting come up later on tonight. I saw him warming up in pregame. Very accurate from beyond the 3 range. And of course, the show here at Merrillville. You hear the noise, you hear the crowd, the music. Ready for the starting lineup for Merrillville.
I'll tell you what, the sound system here at Merrillville is second to none. It rocks you. There's no question about that. And we've got a pretty good crowd here tonight. The Pirates will field a much larger lineup, but they're going to go to basically a 3-guard offense tonight. Number 20, Jeff Gronowski, who had 12 assists in the game against Lou Wallace, and 22, backcourt player Mike Guernsey, and they did an outstanding job against Andrea to help pull that game out in the 4th quarter. Across the front, they are big. Brett Fiedick is the key man. He averages over 21 points a game.
Brett Fiedick will be controlling that inside tonight. He'll be the one to watch. Merrillville will probably work the ball around the perimeter and try to shove it inside to Fiedick to put up the easy 2, while the Vikings, meanwhile, we said before, Bryce Drew, Tim Bishop outside. There'll be a gunnery from out there.
The Vikings have played real big games before this year. They played Roosevelt a couple weeks ago. They played East Chicago at East Chicago. For Merrillville, although they've played 4 significant opponents, this is the first really big game of the season.
And you get a real feel how big of a game this is. The crowd is just electric tonight. The sound system's up. They're ready to go. Jimmy squad goes to the sideline for some final last-second comments, as does Bob Hunter's group, talking with him on the side. They're going to line them up and come out shooting in just a few.
And remember what Coach Jim East said in the clip we had. Gimmicks tonight, different types of defenses. They're not going to come out in one defense and stop Valparaiso. They're going to come out in 2 or 3 or 4 different kinds of defense. Jim East, 26 years, he knows them all. And Bob Punter there, the Valpo head coach, he was a longtime assistant to Skip Collins, who was so successful at Valparaiso. He's going to have to counter Jim East's moves. It's going to be a great chess match here tonight on the benches as well as on the floor.
Starting out there for Valparaiso, they're in the green with the white piping, white numerals, all white around in all their splendor out there for Merrillville. the white, silver, and purple. Merrillville going from left to right. Valparaiso from right to left. The toss will be between Mark Bernison and Brett Fedak. The Vikings, Bernison, and the Brett Fedak of Merrillville.
And again, we should tell you, you're looking at the Merrillville cheering section. The Valpo cheering section is right next to us, so you're going to hear a lot of noise.
Tip-off, ready to go. It's up, and we're off. Merrillville wins the tip. Back to T.J. Lux. Going to work the ball over the line.
Valpo will alternate man-to-man and zone. They may get into a lot of zone defense because Merrillville not known as a good outside shooting team.
Mike Guernsey on top of the ball, looking around the key. They're dishing around the inside. T.J. Lux and Fedak working around, trying to get it open. Showing the flash, Jeff Gronowski.
The matchup is 41. David Furlan against the Pirates' leading scorer, Brett Fedak, with the ball right there.
Working around the outside. It's Torrey Hughes on top of the key. Inside Lux, back outside to Guernsey. Guernsey looks at the perimeter. Merrillville content to take their time and work the ball in.
Yeah, at least 10 passes on this possession, and they do a good job of getting it down low.
Fedak off the iron, off the glass, no good. Valparaiso pulls it down out of bounds off Merrillville.
Excellent job by Ryan Erdelak. He had no place to go, but he slammed it off the foot of Torrey Hughes, and the Vikings have the first possession.
A 50-second possession for the Pirates to start things off.
And even though they didn't score, that's the way Merrillville wants to play this game tonight. They want to remove they want to lessen the amount of possessions that Valparaiso has. And let's watch the matchup. 25, Bryce Drew, he's guarded by 44, Torrey Hughes, and a Viking turnover.
Tim Bishop goes up, the no-look pass, caught his man no-looking as well as Mark Bernison cut to the basket early. First turnover of the night goes, or second turnover overall.
The Pirates usually can break almost any press, and although they are not real strong at the guard line or real deep, Valparaiso certainly will test that here tonight. Bryce Drew with the steal.
Drew picks it up, looking for the first bucket of the night. He gets it in. Drew for two.
Drew just took it away. 6. And we played 90 seconds before the All-Stater put the first basket down, and Valparaiso has a 2-0 lead. And again, Merrillville in trouble in the backcourt. And
a
they bail out.
Trapping offense at 10 seconds, turns the ball over for Merrillville.
And they kind of abandoned Mike Guernsey in the backcourt that time, and I think there's going to be a quick timeout by Merrillville to get things straightened around.
Merrillville does call a timeout to straighten things out. 6:23 left in the first quarter. It's 2-0 Valparaiso. We'll be back after this timeout in the U.S. Cable Primetime Game of the Week. Talk about that. Hello, we're back. I'm Joe Wells, Mark Smith alongside from tonight's U.S. Cable Primetime Game of the Week. 2-0. The Valparaiso lead is 6:23 left in the first quarter of Merrillville timeout. We may be seeing a new young star for Merrillville pretty soon.
Yeah, well, I don't know if he's going to be a star, and I don't know how soon we're going to see him. But the Pirates having trouble handling the press at the outset, so that would lead you to believe that a young boy named Dante Price, who is a freshman but an outstanding ball handler, he may make his debut here in the first half. You'll notice him because he's much smaller than all the other boys. He's only about 5'8" or 5'9". He's not in there right now, but if these problems continue breaking the press, I think Dante's going to get in the game.
Valparaiso starts the possession.
Bryce Drew against Torrey Hughes. Torrey 6'4" and a senior. Bryce Drew 6'3", 160 pounds, and a first-team preseason All-Stater.
Bernison looks inside, gives it back to Drew on top. To Bernison inside, off the iron. There's a foul inside.
And there you go. Bryce is not fast, but he's quick. That was just a lightning one-hand, almost a Magic Johnson-type pass to Mark Bernison inside. He'll get the 2-shot foul.
The foul's on T.J. Lux, pushing off on the shot. So Bernison goes to the line. 6:08 on the clock in the first quarter. A 2-0 lead for Valparaiso.
You almost cannot play Valparaiso with a zone. A true zone, a 5-man zone. But what I expect to see a little later on is a 3-man zone and man-to-man against Drew, number 25, and Bishop, number 23. Now what that will do is encourage the other 3 players to shoot. And when another player other than Drew or Bishop takes a shot, Valpo's doing you a favor.
Bernison hits his second of the 2. Makes it 3-0.
That's only Bernison's second miss of the year. They try to get it down the floor. That's going to be off Torrey Hughes. And another Merrillville turnover.
Merrillville's third turnover of the night, of the early night.
And here he is.
Wearing number 14, Dante Price, the freshman, steps into the ball game.
Now you called that one, Joe. after only 156. And Dante's got a cheering section. About 20 people just stood up in the balcony and applauded Dante Price.
Look at his size matchup right there. Number 41 for Valparaiso is not that tall.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know who he's going to guard. David Furlan is 6'3", and Dante is guarding him. First shot, no good. And
shots off the iron. Looking around the back. Brings it right down quickly. Gets it inside to Hughes on the outside rim. Back on top to Dante.
He's not big, he's not strong, and he's not experienced.
He's gutsy. Look at him take the ball right to him out front.
They say he can handle the ball.
Passing to Fedak. Fedak works the line, but he steps on the line, on the baseline.
And that's the 4th turnover for the Pirates in 2.5 minutes.
5:38 on the clock. 3-0 Valparaiso leads here in the first quarter.
Bryce Drew against Torrey Hughes, and again, watch the defense. Drew down the lane, and Dante Price
Dante picks it off, looking on his own across the Fedak. No good, but he's hacked in the act, so he gets the free throws. Oh, my.
And Dante Price has fired up the gym as far as from the Merrillville standpoint.
Dante Jones coming in, the freshman. To prove his worth, he already has early on.
Coach Jim East was saying during the week, we're going to bring for freshman Mark. He's no bigger than you are, but boy, he can handle the ball.
Merrillville's out of bounds against the foul came before the shot.
Pirates have not yet scored in 2.5 minutes. I think Torrey Hughes is going to have to make some one-on-one moves down the lane against Erdelak.
Price looks at the drive. Back on top to Hughes. Hughes up under pressure, puts it in, makes it 2-3.
That seems to be the best match Merrillville has. Torrey Hughes, 6'4", and a senior against Ryan Erdelak.
Quickly inside for Valparaiso. Bad shot off the bottom of the iron. Picked up by Fedak off the ground.
No place to go for David Furlan that time.
Fedak throws the ball away.
Breakout Burnison.
Burnison lets it roll in off the fingertip roll. Makes it 2-5.
And the Pirates have made 5 turnovers, and if they make 5 in every quarter, they won't even be close in this game tonight.
Fedak with the ball. Dish off to Gronowski. Back on top to Dante Price. Back to Gronowski in the corner.
Interesting scenario for Tim Bishop, number 23 in green. He's an all-state football player, and he's saying, well, I don't know what I'm up against. Torrey Hughes again.
Hughes is hacked on the drive in there. He'll go to the line for that one.
And I don't think you're going to see Ryan Erdelak guarding Torrey Hughes much longer. He is bigger, and he is quicker, and he is getting position.
Torrey Hughes, the man that caught that technical last time we were here.
Torrey Hughes made fame by hanging on the rim last week. And Coach Jimmy says, Torrey won't be doing that anymore.
Dave Furlan picks up the foul for Valparaiso. First one rims it out of there.
Torrey spins it in and out. He came in 64% foul shooter. Pirates struggled shooting fouls at the start of the year, but came on last week to shoot 21 of 31 in their win over Andrean.
Hughes' second free throw. With 4:22 left in the first quarter. It's good, makes it 3-5. Viking lead.
A low-scoring game. Coach Jim East up off the bench and applauding his team so far. Down 2, 4 minutes in, against the state's third-rated team, undefeated Valparaiso.
Dave Furlan off to Tim Bishop. Bishop looks for the baseline, pulls it back up. Gives on top to Bryce Drew.
And now it changed. 20, Mike Guernsey is on Drew, so they're going small and big. Bishop from the corner for 3, can't get it.
Pulled down by Hughes. Hughes lobs to Fedak. Fedak for the jam. Got it. Fedak puts on the show to bring him within on the tie.
That's something Merrillville did very well last year. The 3-quarter court pass. Joseph Forsky, Zach Wells did it, and a steal inside for Merrillville. Now out to Torrey Hughes. Let's see it.
Hughes takes the charge, but no.
And that
Bishop was
basket
still moving.
is going to count. Tim Bishop did not get there in time. And let's see if the referee rings it up for Torrey Hughes. That would tie the game. That was Brett Fedak off the pass from Hughes, and then Hughes again on the layup. And my goodness, Merrillville turned it around.
Bishop collects his first foul. That's the team's third foul. Score is 7-5. Merrillville takes the lead for the first time.
Valpo going to have to pay a little more attention to getting back on defense as Torrey Hughes makes it a 6-point run for the Pirates. And they now lead by 3.
Bring the ball back up. Dave Furlan for Valparaiso.
Let's see if David tries to take Dante Price down low. He's got about a 6-inch height advantage. That's Tim Bishop.
Bishop hard off the back of the iron. Loose ball picked up inside.
Good hustle.
Dish back outside. Bryce Drew, the three-point outside. It hits by Mark Burnison.
Mark Burnison, not known as one of Valpo's big three-point shooters. In fact, I think that's Mark's first three-pointer of the season, and it ties the game 8-8.
Have a whistle, and it looks like Tim Bishop collects another foul.
And from these stats, Mark Burnison hadn't even tried a three-pointer until tonight.
I guess 1-for-1's a pretty good run going in there. A couple of substitutions coming in now for Valparaiso.
I believe, Joe, that last foul on Tim Bishop, so he's going to have to come to the sidelines. Tim has 19 three-point goals. He leads Valparaiso. He leads the Duneland Conference. And he's high in Northwest Indiana. Now 50 is TJ Lux in the game.
Valparaiso with a pick off the 6th Merrillville turnover on the night. Dante Price picks
what
it up.
a steal.
The Fedak around inside, tipped away by Valparaiso, out of bounds. Merrillville holds on to it as Jeff Gronowski takes it inside for the drive, just couldn't hold on to it.
I'll tell you one thing you don't question about Dante Price off just these few minutes is his hands. Extremely quick.
Quick, and he's very gutsy. He's getting right in the middle of the play. He's not playing back and playing timid. He's playing hard.
And Bryce Drew saved the basket down here on the baseline with a good hand swipe. TJ
Lux. Lux off the iron. Rebound by Finley for Valparaiso.
Good strong block out inside that time.
Drew, the head fake, gets the man in the air. Dishes the ball back outside. Ball's thrown away by Valparaiso.
Boy, look at the Pirates getting down on the floor. Dante Price in the break. This is Guernsey. This is Fedak.
Fedak looks outside,
great
takes
move.
to the zone. Fedak puts the 2 in.
Great move. His head fake just turned the Valpo defender out of the lane, and the Pirates regain the lead.
10-8, 2:21 left in the first quarter. Merrillville leads.
Drew, 20-footer.
Drew sinks it just short of the 3 line, ties it back up at 10.
Okay, Bryce Drew came into the game 5 points short of 1,000 for the season. Look at Dante Price trying to do it all himself. Tipped away by Bryce Drew. Drew came in 5 points short of 1,000 for the year, and he has 4 tonight. So his next basket will put him over 1,000. He'll be the 5th Valparaiso player to go over 1,000 points.
Pass to the corner. Gronowski back on top of Fedak for the 3. No good. Rebound by Hughes off the ground.
Good job.
Back up top, the long 3 hits it by the freshman Dante Price.
Well, I can't say I knew it was coming because I didn't even know that he was on the team until Thursday. Dante Price for 3, and the Pirates lead by 3.
Dante caught outside the defense. Long shot put in there.
Bob Finley's first basket.
13-12, Merrillville lead. Picked away by Price.
Drew missed the layup. Merrillville's 6th turnover. Price again. Great hustle by Drew. What a play by Drew.
Bryce Drew pulls it down, puts it to Chris Califf.
His 3rd steal of the game, and that was just hustle getting back on defense.
I got that. Merrillville's 8th turnover of the ball game. Rebound, Fedak inside. He's double teamed and hacked. Foul will be on Bob Finley.
Pirates with the 1-point lead. And yeah, Joe, 8 turnovers for the Pirates already. And again, I don't think we even have to say that if they keep that up, this game will not remain close.
Gronowski will take a seat for the Pirates. Stepping into the ball game, Ryan Shelton, number 24. Also number 54, Brian DeLish. DeLish comes in for TJ Lux.
Ryan Shelton, a 6'5" senior, and he's a swingman, guard and forward.
Fedak off to Price. Price, a baseball pass across. Puts it up by Shelton. No good. Rebound inside. Tipped around loose. Valparaiso comes out with it.
Boy, good strong rebound by Bob Finley inside.
Nice pass by the freshman. Bryce Drew brings it up for Valparaiso. Off to the corner to Califf.
Now Torrey Hughes again back to the defensive assignment of Drew. And Bryce brings it out to the center line. He's going to stand on the Pirate at center court.
40 seconds on the clock, down to 35. Bryce Drew, look at that last second bucket. Working the ball back and forth, just letting things coast. 28 seconds on the clock. Torrey Hughes playing the slack defense.
Now you would think Bryce would wander over to the right side the way he's going now so he can work back to his left with the left hand.
18 seconds on the clock.
Tim Bishop
watching it run down. Bryce Drew is 2 inches off that half-court line.
Remember, Tim Bishop, their leading three-point shooter, not in the game right now.
Clock's down to 8 seconds. 7. Bryce Drew The double pop-up to the corner to Califf. Back to Drew.
Good
2
defense.
seconds. Drew baseline, puts it up, no good off the glass. Oh, a fancy move didn't pay off. After 1 quarter, Merrillville takes a 1-point lead. The score is 13-12. We'll be back after this timeout on the U.S. Cable Primetime Game of the Week. The first quarter action leaves us a 1-point Merrillville lead. We saw the long-range game versus the inside game like we expect in the first quarter, Mark.
Torrey Hughes leads the Pirates with 6. Brett Fiedick with 4. Mark Bernison, who came into the game averaging only 4.2, has 6 already. Bryce Drew, the All-Stater, he has 4, and he comes in with an average of 27.2.
Valparaiso tossed in tonight's U.S. Cable Primetime Game of the Week. The second quarter is underway. Bryce Drew with the ball on top.
David Furlan, Bryce Drew, Tim Bishop, Bob Finley, and Mark Bernison, the Valparaiso lineup.
Pump inside, goes it back out top to Bishop, to Drew.
Bishop, oh, great move by Drew, went right by Torrey Hughes.
Slapped away, but there's a foul. I think we're going to get, let's see who's with the hand up there. 54, Brian Delish.
First foul for Delish. He came in late in the first quarter. The Pirates out with 34, Brett Fiedick, 54, Brian Delish, 44, Torrey Hughes, 24, Ryan Shelton, and 14, he's the freshman, Dante Price. Tim Bishop, surprisingly, not surprisingly, he hasn't gone to the line that much. He's a long-range shooter. He's gone to the line 8 times this year, and he has 6 free throws.
1,000 points for Drew on that bucket.
And he becomes the 5th Valparaiso high school player to score 1,000 points.
Puts it up, hits the second one, so Valpo will take the lead for the second time in tonight's ball game.
Inbounds pass and a quick turnover for Merrillville.
Before he can mark in the scorecard, Merrillville's up the old tricks again, throwing the ball away early. Scores 14-13. Valpo a 1-point lead with 7:36 here in the second quarter.
And it's obvious that mistakes or no, Dante Price is going to have to play a major role in if Merrillville is to win this game tonight.
I think Drew dishes it back out, gets it back. The 3 rims up and no good.
My goodness, Price got robbed.
Volleyball play inside, gives it back out top.
Bernison, good rebound.
Loose ball. Fans looking for a whistle both ways.
Good denial defense by Torrey Hughes, but Bernison.
Oh! The long 3 is at Bernison.
I must have got a bad stat sheet. Bernison has no 3-pointers all season long, and no attempts. But he's 2 for 2 tonight from 3-point range. 17-13 for the Vikings.
Ugly shot, no arc, but hey, it brings down 3. 17-13. The score, Valparaiso. Man at the ball, Dante Price, the freshman starting his first varsity ball game.
Delish looked the back door for Fiedick. He forced it, and the Pirates turn it over for the 10th time, right, Joe?
10th time by my count. Valparaiso pushes the ball up quickly.
Bishop,
no good off the iron. Rebound, Hughes for the Pirates.
And you might say those are bad shots for Valparaiso, but no, that's their game. They will miss 2 out of 3, but when they get into streaks and hit 2 or 3 in a row, they can blow you out. Ryan Shelton by himself
takes it up, pumps it, no good. Rebound, knocked out of bounds by Valparaiso.
I'll tell you what, the Pirates shooting in close to the basket was not good last week, and it's not real good so far tonight.
Did you see that time as Dante Price was trapped in the backcourt? He didn't look for the pass. He dropped the shoulder and drove around him. Very quick ball handling. That's what the coach Jim East was looking for.
Well, he has obviously sparked him in the first quarter. I just wonder in the long run how much he can play tonight against this type of competition. This is his first shot against much bigger players and much more experienced players.
Gronowski at the ball, gives it back on top to Bryce.
And Bryce Drew's going to go head-to-head with him.
Price against Drew up top. Gronowski one more time.
There's Torrey Hughes. Now Torrey's being guarded by Mark Bernison. And again, that's not a matchup I think it's going to work real well. Boy, Bryce Drew's got his hands in there on Dante Price.
Price pulls out, going to set it back up on top. Gronowski in the corner now.
Price 5'8", Drew 6'3". And steal by Tim Bishop, but he gave it up.
Gronowski holds the ball up, gives it back on top. No good off the iron by Fiedick. Pulled down the rebound by Bishop. Bishop will bring the ball up court. Pass across to Drew. Drew looks inside the corner.
Oh,
nice
what
pass.
A pass.
It's in.
What a pass. A Magic Johnson type pass by Bryce Drew to Mark Bernison. And Bernison now with 11 leads all scores. Dante Price goes to one knee and the pressure on in the backcourt. Oh, a traveling call.
A travel by Torrey Hughes, and Merrillville looks for the timeout. 5:30 left in the first half. The score is 19-13. Merrillville used the second timeout to collect themselves. Tonight's ball game, well, Valparaiso comes back here strong in the second half and takes over.
Valparaiso doing what Andrean tried to do to Merrillville last week. They tried to press them all over the floor. It was not effective. Valparaiso with more experience and with a slick-handed player like Bryce Drew out front, he is the man who is keying that press and giving the freshman Dante Price a lot of trouble. There you see what Valparaiso has done from three-point range this year. 46 in 5 games, even with my grade school education. That's 9 a game. They have 2 so far tonight, and both of them by a boy who's not listed there because he didn't have any.
Burnison.
Mark Burnison. He had 2. I don't think he had an attempt. From the official Valpo statistics, he did not have a three-point attempt until tonight.
And he's hit both of them that he's made. 5:30 in the clock here in the first half. 19-13, Valparaiso leads. Valparaiso tied it up with a free throw at the start of this half by Bryce Drew, his 1,000th point of his career. And then 13-14 as he sunk his second one in there. And they've gone up to the lead right now, the 6-point lead, 19-13.
Again, Merrillville out. And the young freshman Dante Price out of there. They've gone back to the more experienced guards. 20 is Jeff Gronowski, 22 is Mike Guernsey. And I think Valparaiso has the ball. Yeah,
Valparaiso gets the ball. Nice try by Merrillville.
Brett Fiedick is going to take the ball out of bounds. Good try, Brett.
Bryce Drew gives the ball across to Furlan.
David Furlan has not scored. He came in averaging 9.2 per game. But that's
Drew,
not
the
unusual.
pump fake.
A lot of the Valparaiso players will score in streaks.
Shot over the defense. Nice job. Sinks it in for 2. Makes it 21-13.
There's that three-quarter court pass that Merrillville made so famous last year, but Gronowski missed the layup inside.
A foul from behind. Looks like Shelton collects that one for the Pirates.
Pirates are getting easy shots. They are just not going in. And if they don't start going in quick, then this game's going to be blown out to proportions that I don't think Merrillville can overcome.
Vikings bring the ball in. Number 41, Dave Furlan, brings it across midcourt.
And 11.1 for Valparaiso was 13-10 for the Park. Tim Bishop. Not Bryce Drew, excuse me.
Drew steps it up, makes it 23-13.
And that's 13 points. Now Brett Fiedick back to try to break the press, and he does it.
Shelton to Hughes. Hughes in the corner.
Pirates got to take their time, work it inside, and get a good shot. They've been getting good shots, but the ball simply just not going in.
Guernsey on the far corner. Inside to Fiedick. Fiedick loses on the ground, picks it back up.
Triple teamed.
A foul. We're going to have a hold from the backside.
And I think Mark Burnison bailed him out there because Brett Fiedick didn't have much of a place to go.
The foul, yes, on Burnison.
We've played 3:31, and the Pirates have not scored in this period.
10 unanswered points will make it 11 with the first free throw.
31, Mike Follis in for Tim Bishop. Again, most of the Valparaiso players will not hesitate to fire the three. Pass inside, lost again. 12 turnovers for Merrillville. Well, the floor is wide open for Furlan. He wants 3.
Furlan hits the 3, 26-13.
David Furlan is 4th of the year, and they just left him wide open. And now Valparaiso doubled the score on Merrillville. And good pressure in the backcourt. And the Pirates just not adept enough at the guard line, at least not tonight so far, to do anything about it.
Fiedick on the far side, looking around. The score is 26-13. Valparaiso off to a big lead here in the second quarter.
Wide open shot for Guernsey.
Only 2. He stepped on the line. Guernsey makes it 15 for the Pirates, 26 for Valparaiso.
Mike Guernsey came in averaging 3.7 points a game. There you see what Valparaiso's done so far this year. So far tonight, they have 3 3-point baskets. Bryce Drew beats Torrey Hughes to the goal.
What a move. Bryce Drew just puts it down and goes around. 28-15 Valparaiso.
Drew averages a little over 27, and he's got 10 so far. Valpo in control of the game at this point.
Hughes on top. Merrillville trying to get some type of offense going. They won't do it that way with their 13th turnover and the breakaway run. Drew off the glass, 30-15.
And the Pirates need another timeout. Drew, not a dunker. He just scooped it up. And Valparaiso has doubled the score on Merrillville.
3:05 in the first half left, 30-15. Valparaiso will be back after this break on the U.S. Cable Primetime Game of the Week. You see the crowd right there is what makes it so fun here at Merrillville High School. Even down by 15, the Pirates putting on the show, the crowd and the fans. But their Pirates have to put on the show on the floor to come back from 15 down here in the second quarter.
Valparaiso so far, Bryce Drew with 12, Mark Burnison with 11. But the key stat is 13. 13 Merrillville turnovers so far in the game. Valpo press, much better than advertised.
Fida gets the ball across to Guernsey. Guernsey's going to point the guard.
Great
Guernsey loses
steal.
the bit of Drew. Drew up, lays it in.
Bryce Drew, not a dunker. He just lays it in calmly. A gentleman's type score. He has 4 steals already. Actually, he has 5 steals already.
Ball out of bounds off Valparaiso.
And Jim East has no choice but to go back to the freshman, Dante Price. He's the only one who's shown any. And again, Dante gets a standing ovation in the upper deck. That's what Bryce Drew has done. He's improved every season. 17.6 last year, despite missing some games because of that heart ailment that we mentioned.
Fida looks at the baseline, pulls up to Lux. Lux loses inside.
Steal.
Loose ball, tapped around.
Another steal by Drew and a foul on Torrey Hughes.
Hughes getting a little too physical on the breakdown.
That's 6 steals for Bryce Drew, living up to the billing as the first-team All-Stater.
I have 14 turnovers for the Pirates. Really racking them up. Torrey Hughes' first foul of the night.
Drew again. Oh, my.
34-15.
Boy, it's too easy right now. 16 points for Drew and a 19-point lead for Valparaiso.
Torrey Hughes in the corner gets it back on top to Price.
And the Pirates have to get the ball down inside to start getting something.
Gronowski drives baseline. He's hit. A blocking foul by Valparaiso's Bob Finley.
Vikings well schooled at how to take the charge. That was close. That was right down in front of us. That was very close. That obviously not a shooting foul, though, so the Pirates will get it out of bounds. They have scored only 2 points in this quarter, and they've been outscored 22-2. Yep.
They will be shooting the ball on this. Driving for the bucket. They're going to give them, well, right now, that's the 7th foul for Valparaiso. So we'll be in a 1-on-1 situation for the rest of the half.
45. Mark Roscoe, a 6'1 junior in there. Jeff Gronowski. Jeff has not scored, but Coach Jim East says when he looks at his guards, he doesn't look at points scored. Looks at assists and turnovers. Shot in and out. Fida, over the back for a rebound, and he put it in.
Fida gets it while he's hitting the turf on that one. He was tripped by a falling player inadvertently.
I think Brett might have got away with one there. Wide open off the wing. Oh, and a wild shot by Mike Follis.
Fida with control of the ball and gets it back on top to Price. Price quickly up the court, going to make the defense commit to him. Takes it to the bucket himself, gives it to Hughes.
Well, he is very quick. He took off that time before he knew where he was going with the basketball. Look at TJ Lux fight for it, and Merrillville will get it out of bounds.
Merrillville ball. I'll tell you, Dante Price, a very gutsy player. Lack of size and all. He just took it right inside, right against the big men for Valparaiso.
I don't know, if you're old and tired like I am, Valparaiso reminds you of a lot of the old Kentucky teams that used to play in the 60s and 70s as Brett Fida gets a jumper off the left wing. Brett has 8. They didn't have anybody over 6'5 or 6'6, but they all played good position. They all played quick hand type defense, and they all could shoot from distance.
I'm not one of those old tired guys. I don't remember that either.
You're not that old.
34-19, Valparaiso with the lead. With the ball on top, that's Roscoe. Gives it back on top to Drew.
I think the Vikings may pull it out and just hold on to the ball. Oh, Bryce Drew forced that one. That's a bad shot. I mean,
pulled down by Lux.
Probably the first one Bryce has put up tonight.
Price, he gives the ball across Gronowski. Gronowski back to Lux, around to Fedick. Fedick, the 3. No good off the iron. Out of bounds off Valparaiso. Merrillville gets under their own bucket.
And really 2 Viking players were there and could have had the ball. Mike Follis and Ryan Erdelak, and neither one was able to hold on to it. You know, the Pirates have Torrey Hughes flashing across the lane. He's pretty much open inside. If they just get him the ball, I think he can do some damage. Now, inbounds pass thrown away.
Try to lob it to Lux, no good.
Bryce Drew with the steal, his 7th, and now I think the Vikings are going to hold for the last shot. Of course, that's what I said last time down the floor, too. 33 seconds left in the first half. Valparaiso rated 3rd in the state. They lead by 15.
Scores 34-19 with the ball on top. That's Mark Roscoe on the near wing. Gives to Drew. Bryce Drew looks to the near wing. He's facing Fedak.
Brett Fedak and Bryce Drew played on a team during the summer. They were teammates, and they know each other pretty well. Both about the same size. Drew 6'3", Fedak 6'6".
8 seconds on the clock. Drew takes to the paint, dishes it back outside. Back to Drew on three-land, takes the baseline, dish off, off the glass, nice! Oh, nice shot, 36-19.
They dominated the second quarter, 24-6 for Valparaiso in the second period.
Amazing. We'll be back to talk about the stats in the rest of this first half. And welcome back to halftime, the U.S. Cable Prime Time Game of the Week. And tonight we see Valparaiso controlling Merrillville after 2. The long-range shooting has paid off like we said it would, and also the speed. It just flat out left Merrillville flat.
Yeah, actually Merrillville hung in the game there for a while, about a quarter, but as we were saying, the way the turnovers kept coming, they weren't going to be able to stay in the game long.
By my unofficial count, they had 14 in that first half.
Yeah, I had 15, but really, it couldn't have been. They had 8 in the first quarter, and we were saying, well, if they keep making 8, then they'll be out of it. Well, they made virtually 8 in the second quarter, and they're out of it right now. They're down 17. They need a big run sometime in the third quarter to make a game of this.
In this game, there were 5 lead changes and 4 ties throughout the first half, but the difference was that there was only 1 in the second quarter, and from then on, that was in the first minute of the second quarter. From then on, Valparaiso just pile up the points in the lead, and that's the big difference right there. I think they rattled off about 10 unanswered points at one point.
Right. I think they did. I think they had something like might have even been a 13-point run. Let's look at the leading scorers in the first half for both teams. Bryce Drew, as you might expect, leads all scorers with 16 points. He has 7 steals so far, and the assists I didn't even count. So he's probably up there in 2. I would say 4 or 5 at least, a couple spectacular ones that I remember. Mark Bernison is the man who's really killed Merrillville. Well, that's not true. Bryce Drew is the man who's really killed Merrillville, but Mark Bernison only averages 4.2. He has 11 points so far in the game. Nobody expected that. Tim Bishop has not scored, but it has not mattered because, again, Valparaiso has dominated the game, and Bernison's scoring has made up for Bishop's scoring. Brett Fedak with 8, Torrey Hughes with 6, but a lot of shots inside for Merrillville have not fallen, and that's why they're so far out of the game.
Running down that point and run, it was a 14-point run for Valparaiso to start things off in the second quarter. For foul trouble, Valparaiso has Tim Bishop, Mark Bernison, and Bob Finley, all with 2 fouls. Dave Furlan has got 1. Merrillville, I think I lost track. I've got Delish, DJ Lux, Torrey Hughes, Ryan Shelton, all with 1 apiece. I think there might have been 1 or 2 more there, but we'll wait and see in the second quarter because Valparaiso got in the foul trouble. But Merrillville did not send anybody to the line because of the 1-to-1.
This is the farthest the Pirates have been behind at halftime so far this year. We went over to practice on Thursday, and we talked to Torrey Hughes, and I don't know how it's going to sound right now, but we asked him just exactly where he wanted to be at halftime, where he wanted the team to be at halftime of this game against third-rated Valparaiso, and here's what he had to say.
I want to be, if we're not beating them, I would like to be above. I mean, I'd like to be right up there with them. Because I know they have a lot of good players, a lot of good shooters, Bryce, Bishop, and them. So we're going to have to contain them. I hope we should be close because then when our fourth quarter game kicks in, we'll be right there. We're 2-2, and that's not really all great, but I think we'll surprise a lot of people. We haven't lost here at home, and we're going to keep it that way, hopefully.
Second half ready to start off 36-19 at the halftime. Be back with the second half after this timeout in U.S. Cable Primetime Game of the Week. And welcome back to the second half action of the U.S. Cable Prime Time Game of the Week at Merrillville High School. Valparaiso and Merrillville. Valparaiso, the sizable lead. I'm Joe Wells, Mark Smith alongside. The second half action just ready to start off. If you hear all this stuff about Mr. All-State candidate and all the Mr. Basketball candidate, Bryce Drew from Valparaiso, stick around and watch because he'll show you why he got those votes. Some great moves, some great ball control, some great shooting in the first half. Should size up to some great playing here in the second half.
Yeah, we definitely have seen enough here in the first half from a Valpo standpoint to think that he's a candidate for Mr. Basketball, number 25 in the green, 16 points and 7 steals. The Vikings out with their original starting lineup. Number 25 is Bryce Drew, 41 is David Perlin, 51 Mark Bernison, 23 Tim Bishop, and 33 is Ryan Erdelak. Merrillville's going to start a different lineup here in the second half. 50 TJ Lux, 34 is Brett Fedak. But 14, the freshman Dante Price will handle the basketball. 20 is Jeff Gronowski at 1 guard. and 44. Torrey Hughes at a forward. Oh, they run a pass off the inbounds, play off the inbounds pass, and another turnover.
Starting things off wrong with the first turnover of the second half. Merrillville will get the ball back. Merrillville's in the white with the purple piping, purple numerals going from right to left. Valparaiso in green and white, or from left to right.
And to feel that they're in the game, Merrillville's going to have a 4 or 6 point run. Oh, another steal. Tim Bishop.
Bishop back to Drew. Inside, ball slapped away, brought back out. Bishop looks at the three, pulls it back down, takes a pull-up jumper, hits it.
Beautifully done. And Tim Bishop, 19.8 points per game. That's his first basket. And the Viking lead is 19. That's the biggest of the game.
38-19, 7:25 left in the third quarter. It's Dante Price, the freshman for Merrillville. Dishing the ball inside to Hughes. Price gets it back.
Dante gave him a quick spark when he first came in. Right now, he looks a little bit overmatched against the bigger, more experienced Valpo players.
Ball's knocked away, telegraphed the pass a bit, and you saw Bishop jump right out there on top of it.
He is so small. There's so much of a physical difference between a freshman and a senior, and most of the Viking players, seniors. You know, you really cannot judge him by one game. In fact, you can't judge him by 4 or 5 games in your freshman season.
That Merrillville trainer, Sherm Isaac, stepping out on the floor for a second. I think there's an equipment problem. Some tape on the floor.
Merrillville with an incredible freshman class that you won't see a whole lot of this year, but you will see in the future. Dante Price transferred in. Jovan Blacknell, a guard, was up on the varsity for a while. And they have a big 6'8" center. Jamal Davis, 6'7", but 6'7.5" and still growing. He may eventually be 6'9" or 6'10". He's ineligible now, but they say he will be playing next month. And he'll be interesting to see. Not strong and not polished, but 6'8", and you can't teach that. Dante Price with a wild shot.
Ball pulled down by Valparaiso's Ryan Erdlach. He's caught at midcourt, over and back. Gets
oh my
on both sides of the line.
And Brett Fiedek got away with a foul there. And Coach Bob Punter says, hey, what's going on, ref?
Not too excitable. He understands how that angle came across. He's going to sit down and watch the next one.
I think that was a situation where the referee just simply didn't see the foul. We could see it from our vantage point.
Fiedek with the ball on the baseline, pulls up inside to Lux. Lux has it slapped away, and there's a foul.
Foul on Tim Bishop. That should be his third, but the Pirates now doing what they had hoped to do early. There you see Bob Punter's record. And except for the 91 season when he went with a lot of young players and a freshman named Bryce Drew, his record has been winning and has been very strong.
Foul is on number 51, Mark Burnison, inside. Ball slapped away by Bishop, but Burnison had a hold of him from the inside. His third foul tonight. TJ
Lux came in averaging 10.5 points per game, and that's his first point tonight.
First point of the half for Merrillville. 6:35 left on the clock. 38-20 is the score of Valparaiso's lead.
Pirates got swamped in a 24-6 second period.
Rolls around.
Torrey Hughes, a great rebound.
Hughes puts it back in for two. 22-38, Valparaiso's lead.
And there's going to have to be a run by the Pirates right now if they're going to get back in the game. They are so far down, 16 out. They really can't go to the fourth quarter down 16 with a reasonable chance to win. That's
three-pointer.
Burnison again.
Burnison, no good. Picked up by Bishop. Bishop to the corner. Shots up. It's in. Wow, Dave Furlan makes it 41-22.
David Furlan with a three. The fourth three-pointer for Valparaiso tonight. And still in total control as Brett Fiedek fires up. Oh, good hustle. Great hustle on the floor there by Jeff Kronowski. Right.
Oh, a travel outside, a turnover for Merrillville. The third of the half, I believe.
Into the game, 53 for Valparaiso, Bob Finley. He was aggressive on the boards in the first half. Jim, about 3 quarters full, and the Merrillville fans a little bit disappointed. Big Valpo contention there, they're happy. But the Merrillville fans a little bit disappointed. I think they hoped this game would be a little bit closer. Frankly, so did we.
Dave Furlan with the ball on top. Dishes it back out to Erdlich. Erdlich to Bishop. Bishop back to Furlan. To Bishop, the three. Short, off the iron. Hughes pulls it down.
Now you're in a situation, if you're Valparaiso, if you could take threes, and you only have to hit 1 out of 4 to stay in the game.
Fiedek hits one, making it to 25.
And I should say you have to 1 out of 4 to maintain your lead. For the Pirates, that's their second three-point basket of the night. Dante Price had one in the first quarter. And the Merrillville kids are whooping it up, trying to get the team back in the game. They got to have a run here in the third quarter.
Bishop in the drive, dishes it off. Hughes picks it.
Turnover tipped out of bounds by Drew, but Merrillville has the basketball, down 16 with 5:03 to play in the third period. And here's where Valparaiso, when they get the ball back, needs a play from the All-Stater. They need Drew to get something going. Brett Fiedek, you saw his numbers. He has 11. Oh, Tim Bishop makes the move. Bryce Drew out.
Corey Hughes caught reaching there. He'll get the block. Saw the freshman Dante Price telegraph the pass and throw it too long. It was picked off inside. Over and talked to the coach, but hey, his first varsity game, a pretty good showing tonight.
Yeah, you see Dante Price going over to the bench a lot. Again, although he doesn't look it, he's got to be nervous. He's got to be a little bit intimidated playing against a team that is as skilled as Valparaiso is.
Man, he hides it well, though. Shot knocked away by Hughes. Hughes gives it back on top to Price. Price working back and forth against the defense of Valparaiso.
Oh, great dribble into TJ Lux, and the basket counts.
Lux off the glass makes it 27 for Merrillville with the foul.
Well, he's making a comeback. Dante Price was down for a while, but they made a little comeback here, and I think Valpo wants a timeout. Coach Bob Punter doesn't want this to get any closer. Timeout
Valparaiso. The score is 41-27, 4:34 left on the clock. Be back after our own timeout on the U.S. Cable Primetime Game of the Week. We're back in the U.S. Cable Primetime Game of the Week at Merrillville High School as the Valparaiso Vikings lead the Merrillville Pirates 41-27 with 4:34 left in the third quarter. Valparaiso calls a timeout so Bob Hunter can cool on his troops for a second.
The school of dance here at Merrillville. I swear I see little kids and faculty members dancing over here in the runway.
This is a fun place to watch a ball game. You ever get a chance, you got to show up at Merrillville High School.
TJ Lux had a scoreless first half, and the Pirates need him to get going, and it appears he might. There you see what TJ did in his first two games, struggled in his last two, but if he hits this one, he'll have 4 in this quarter, and the Pirates will have cut the Valparaiso lead to 13. I thought it was a good timeout by Bob Punter. Things were starting to turn, and in the opposition's gym, where the crowd can be so much of a factor, you can't really let it turn a lot before you have a talk with your fellas.
Exactly. At the line, there's TJ Lux. His free throws off the front of the iron. Pulled down by Fiedek. Fiedek puts the 2 in.
And the Merrillville rebounding, getting him back in the game, and the lead is now 12. And now the gym's going to get a little bit noisier. And we see the All-Stater trying to make the move.
On Drew up front. Drew misses it.
And a foul on Merrillville.
Looks like he get the call on Mike Guernsey. With some contact. Labino shooting on this one.
4:20 to play. And the Pirates, who at one point were down 38-19 at the start of this half, have come up with a 10-3 run and are back in it somewhat. Oh, great inbounds pass to Bishop. He missed the shot.
TJ Lux lucked out on that one because he was caught and looking the other way, and the shot went over his head.
Here's a big one for the Pirates, and Brett Fiedek will take it.
Fiedek, no good. Ball's tipped around. Lux over the back.
Yeah, really, Merrillville had good. Torrey Hughes had good position inside, and Lux went over the back, and TJ gets called for the foul there. But Valparaiso will take that out of bounds. With 4:06 to play.
Team fouls. Merrillville has 3, while Valparaiso has 2. High school basketball, 7 puts you at the line for the rest of the half.
Brian Delich in for TJ Lux. TJ struggled in the 2 games that we've seen him. Here's David Furlan bringing it up. Gives 22 for Merrillville, Mike Guernsey. Tim Bishop. Oh.
Rims it around and up for Bishop. Dish out to Fiedek. Fiedek up.
Tim Bishop can't get a witness tonight. Torrey Hughes in the lane. Oh.
No good. Tip back up. Rebound by Bishop.
And a foul on Torrey Hughes.
Torrey Hughes, a grab from behind, will get in the foul.
And he's got to be frustrated because that was an easy shot. Coach Jimmy says, hey, take it with it. Take it to the iron. Coach, he says, I wouldn't even mind a dunk now.
Just don't grab onto the rim.
Torrey hung all over the rim in the Andrean game last week, if you saw it on Channel 3.
41-29, 3:39 on the clock in the third quarter. That's Drew with 3.
BD for 3. That's the way Todd Eichhoff calls it on WLJE. And the lead is back up to 15. Bryce Drew with 19. He averages 27. Good pass to Hughes. He slipped. And that's a traveling call.
Hughes slips and goes down. A turnover for Merrillville. A bad break for the Pirates.
And I think Torrey was going to get high for the slam that time. There you see 3
He was cranking up.
For Bryce Drew. Keep in mind he was ill a little bit last season. But at this rate, 14, that's 3 a game. You run that 15 through 6 games. You run that through maybe 24, which they figure to play, and that's at least 60. And when you get into playoff competition, he might be firing up a few more. He's got a shot at 70, 75.
Have to make a tape of this ball game and keep it on the side because someday that young man will be famous.
And again, on the graphs we've shown you tonight, this is the 93-94 season, which will become apparent to you after the first of the year. Bryce Drew missed, undercut by Ryan Shelton.
Shelton chops him as he goes in the air.
Following Ryan Shelton, he undercut Bryce Drew as he fired up the 20-footer.
Shelton picks up his 2nd foul tonight.
And I think that was a good call.
It's a safety call. Bryce Drew was up in the air coming down, and Shelton went under and cut his legs out, and you have to call that to make sure you don't end up with some young man with a broken leg out there.
And actually, the referee is calling it perfectly because that is not a shooting foul. It is after the shot.
Bishop will throw the ball in.
The lead is 15. Merrillville kind of hanging on the brink.
Inside, slapped away by Hughes, but the travel. Hughes putting that one up with authority.
Torrey Hughes trying to intimidate Ryan Erdelak. And that would intimidate me.
Dinner is served, a Spalding sandwich, a specialty here at Merrillville by Torrey Hughes.
Pirates have had their chances to really get back close in this game and have not been able to do it. Let's see if they pop the ball away. Oh, and a traveling on Brian Delish. 21 turnovers unofficially for the Pirates, and I think this is a season high.
2:51 on the clock in the 3rd quarter. 44-29. Valparaiso leads Merrillville.
Bryce Drew trying to slow the pace of the game. And he looks so slight. I saw Damon Bailey play, and Damon was a totally different player. They both started at freshman. Oh, great steal by Feedick. Feedick takes it away from the All-Stater. Yeah, but Valpo gets it back.
Out of bounds, and Merrillville will keep possession.
Tim Bishop said, "You can't do that to my man." Came up behind him and knocked it out of bounds. But a good steal by Feedick, who had 6 steals last week.
You saw Feedick crank up the speed. If he would have been on his own, that would have been stuff material.
Remember, Feedick and Drew are friends. They played together on a team last year, as we mentioned before. 3-pointer in the air.
Guernsey, Gronowski puts it in there. 44-32, Valparaiso.
And here's a big 220 for Merrillville. If they get it down under double figures, as they always say, then they'll be back in the game at halftime. Wide open shot, lost, and here's Torrey Hughes. Let's see. Oh, he lays it in.
Nice and safe, makes it a 10-point difference, 44-34.
Pirates on a 15-6 run in their own home gym, and the kids are coming to their feet now as Bryce Drew again tries to control the pace of the game. And I think they found a defensive match for him. It's Brett Feedick.
Dave Furlan with the ball, dishes it off to Bernison.
Valparaiso will work a lot of backdoor stuff. They'll try to open up the lane. And a key player
Bishop
inside.
Takes Feedick inside. Bishop puts it up.
Tough shot.
Feedick pulls it down, presses it down quickly for Gronowski. Gronowski, the stop and pops it, puts it in.
5 quick ones for Jeff Gronowski. Valpo's got to get a timeout. They can't wait for the end of the quarter.
Timeout. Merrillville comes off to the side. 44-36. 1:28 on the clock. We're seeing the comeback by Merrillville.
Boy, what a run by Merrillville there. It was 38-19. It was 41-25. Since that point, it's been 11-3 for the Pirates. And 2 keys. Torrey Hughes inside, battling for rebounds. Brett Feedick has done a decent job against Bryce Drew out front. And Jeff Gronowski, who came into the game with only 4 field goals in 4 games, as you see there. He now has 6, and 4 of them are three-pointers, so he makes his shots count. He takes them only when he really has to. A key from a Valparaiso standpoint is that I think they've slowed the pace of the game too much. They've tried to walk the ball up the floor to hold control in the opposition's gym, and it's kind of gotten away. There you see what Torrey Hughes has done at home and on the road. He has 10 so far tonight, so he looks like he's going to be headed more toward that home average than he is toward the road average.
The way the offense has come together here in the third quarter for Merrillville has been unbelievable. That first half, they threw so many away. The past 3 minutes have been nearly perfect, though, for them. As they're playing tough, they're taking it away, and they're putting it in the hole. I
wouldn't be surprised with the score 44-36 if Valparaiso comes down and just opens the floor up. They're either going to attack the basket with much more vigor than they have been, or they're going to stall out this last 86 seconds.
1:20 on the clock. Pass inside to Drew. Drew inside to Finley. Back to Drew. Drew pulls it up, no good. Rebound. Merrillville, but it's loose. Drew with the 3. It's on target. It's in.
And that's a big one.
47-36.
That's a big one for Bryce Drew as it gives them back the 11-point lead. Drew with 22.
Merrillville working the ball around the horn. Shelton. Backed out to Guernsey. Guernsey looking at the far side, the wing, gives it inside to Hughes. Hughes in the baseline.
Valpo in the switching man-to-man as they've been in all game long. We're inside 40 seconds, and the noise you can hear from the Valpo cheering section was pretty quiet for a while, but now they're up and lively. Battling for the basketball, Ryan Shelton.
Gronowski pulls it out, gives it up top, the 3's up, no good. Rebound by Hughes. Hughes the bucket hard, no
another
good.
Another big rebound by
Foul
Torrey
from
Hughes.
behind.
And Torrey Hughes on the boards is coming to the front here in the third quarter. David Furlan with the foul.
Furlan picks up his second on the night, I believe.
Torrey 2 for 3 from the line, and he'll shoot 2. The lead is 11, 24 seconds. Expect Bryce Drew to take the ball after this free throw attempt here. But watch the boys in the lane. Merrillville's been very effective on missed foul shots, getting inside, getting the basketball. And the Valpo's got to block them out here.
Free throws up, nothing but net. 47-37, Valparaiso's lead.
Feedick in for Ryan Shelton. And again, Feedick's going to be in the foul lane. And if Torrey misses this one, watch the Pirates try to slide in for the board. TJ Lux in as well.
Lux and Feedick in there, that's a rebounding line.
Well, any way you look at it, Merrillville's back in the game. They were down 19 at the start of the third quarter.
They were down 19, they're really sputtering. Now they're really coming back and playing hard. Second one's in, makes it 47-38.
And Bryce Drew taking control. And Brett Feedick confidently standing on the Pirate at center court waiting for him.
13 seconds on the clock. Bryce Drew looking for the final shot, down to 10.
Bryce has got to make sure that it's one shot and nothing. Nothing else can happen.
Drew drives left, spins inside. He's hit, fouled. It hits in.
And the basket counts. Oh, a great spinning move by Drew. Actually, the shot was blocked. He reloaded in the lane and put the basket down.
Feedick arguing with the official on that one, disagreeing. To no avail, though. It's 49-38, and Drew goes to the line.
Pirates wanted to travel there. I'm not sure I saw it. The only question was whether it was a clean block or a foul. The ball did go in. So Drew can put the Vikings up by 12. 2.5 seconds left in the third quarter. And that was a big, big basket.
Shots up, it's in. Makes it 49, 50-38. Merrillville has 1 second left. Shots no good. That ends the third quarter. After 3 quarters of play, the Vikings lead the Pirates 50-38. We'll be back after this timeout in the U.S. Cable Primetime Game of the Week. Third quarter, Valparaiso putting the pressure on. 50-38, they lead.
As they start the fourth, and that was where Coach Jim East, the cut was where he wanted to be after 3 quarters, and he's not as close as he wants to be, but he's a lot closer than he was. It was 19 down, and they're down 12. We have no scoring so far here in the first minute of the fourth quarter until now. And the basket by Bob Finley. He has 4, and the Viking lead is 14 once more.
Finley, nice head fake, got the defensive player in the air, and he moved right around him. Moving the ball down for Merrillville. Guernsey.
So the Vikings appear to have fought off the Merrillville rally. Let's see if the Pirates on their home floor can mount another one. Good
Hughes
pass.
to Lux. Lux no good, but there's a foul. But that's on 53, Bob Finley, I believe. With the official call out front, 5-3, that's him.
Torrey Lux seems to be and Brett Feedick seem to be very apparent of where their teammates are when they have a short shot. Sometimes when you have an 8, 9, 10 foot shot, your mind goes blank, everything except rim. Let's get it over the rim and get it in. But Torrey and Brett especially are very apparent that the pass off is still an option. You see that a lot from Bryce Drew especially. But Bryce Drew's a point guard, and Hughes and Feedick are forwards.
Bob Finley's 4th foul of the night. He's close to going out. The only man in real foul trouble. Mark Brinson, also from Valparaiso, has 3. Torrey Hughes from Merrillville has 3. 39-52. Valparaiso's lead.
In and out, put the tip in by Brett Feedick, and that will count 2. So a 3-point play in effect for Merrillville. Feedick has 15, and the Pirates back with an 11 with 6:55 to play.
Valparaiso brings it down. Inside, back on top to Bernison.
Bishop, good pass.
Nice pass, gets the finger roll off of Finley.
Bob Finley with 6, and the lead again is 13.
Merrillville brings it across. It's Guernsey with the ball. Cross to Hughes, to Feedick. Feedick looks at the 3, going to bring it back on top to Lux.
Pirates not a 3-point shooting team. I don't expect they'll get anxious and start firing it up from long distance for another few minutes.
Hughes inside to Lux. Lux hard to the glass, off it and in.
I'll tell you what, pretty good move. TJ starting to come on, 6 in this half, and 6 for the game.
TJ is a good player when he goes hard to that glass. He's really showing his worth inside.
Oh, loose ball on the floor. Pirates get down on the iron to get. Oh, Drew with a great play. Oh, but
knocked away by Feedick. Watch Feedick in there pumping it up. He put it out of bounds. That's the authority he wanted to show.
Bryce Drew has a little Wayne Gretzky in him. He's a half step ahead of everybody else, but Brett Feedick was ready for that layup. That was a weak layup. Brett said, take it out of here.
Bryce Drew and Feedick meeting hand-to-hand. A hand check by Feedick. He agrees.
This time Brett has no question. That's his second. I believe it's just his second foul of the game.
Let's see what the official count is. Feedick. His second.
Vikings will go to the foul line with Bryce Drew. He's 3 for 3 from the game. Drew in the season, 18 of 23, so now he's 21 of 26, and that's up over 80%.
First one's up off the front of the iron.
And that
Rebound,
was a 1-and-1.
Merrillville uncontested.
I think there was a little confusion among the players there whether that was a 1-and-1 or 2, but he was not shooting.
Lux forces it into Feedick. Feedick off the glass is a foul.
Double teamed in the foul inside on Mark Bernison. The lead 11, so Feedick will go to the line to shoot 2.
That's Bernison's 4th foul, so Bernison and Finley both in foul trouble with 4. 5:40 on the clock, 54-43, Valparaiso lead.
Bernison was a big offensive factor in the first half, but again, the Vikings have a lot of offense other than Bernison. He's not one of their main scorers, so if he goes to the bench, it will probably not affect them offensively. It will probably affect them a little more under the glass. Brett Feedick gets to the line quite a bit. Tonight he is tonight he has not gone to the line, but so far this year 35 foul shots, and he puts that one down. Pirate free throw shooting has improved. It was very bad, 4 of 6, and then in the first 2 games 7 of 14 and 8 of 20. Last 2 games 15 of 24 and 21 of 31.
10-point difference. This makes it still 10. Rebound by Valparaiso's Bob Finley.
Finley doing a good job getting the defensive rebound. It's something the Vikings have had a little trouble with tonight. The lead is 10 with 5:30 to play.
Far corner.
Oh, my.
Bishop pumps the foot and travels up top. Turnover Valparaiso. That'll bring in a quick change of guard here as Ryan Erdelak comes in.
Erdelak will replace Mark Bernison. So, again, in some respects now, you're going to a smaller lineup, although Erdelak really a forward. Ryan has not scored. He will just try to hold his own on the boards. Torrey Hughes at the top of the key. And the Vikings looking for him to drive down the lane, and he dishes off. Oh, good shot.
The roll, 46 points for the Pirates. They now trail by 8.
Brett Feedick with 18. Drew trying to take over again. And the Pirates want to keep the ball out of Drew's hands.
Drew dishes it back outside, up, around, out. Pulled down by Lux for the Pirates.
And
with
you know
the ball. That's Guernsey.
And they will give him that shot.
Hughes to Gronowski to Lux on top. Tries to force it inside. Bad pass, but a travel.
Very, very lazy pass there. Mike Guernsey had virtually no chance of getting into the lane. And, you know, the Merrillville defense would rather give somebody like Bob Finley or Ryan Erlich a 10-footer than give Bryce Drew a 20-footer.
There is no travel. It's an official timeout for an injury.
Valparaiso has controlled the play in the fourth quarter this year.
But there was a travel on top of that, so Merrillville will get the ball back.
54-46, 4:50 to play.
Oh,
this is a big one. And he just can't get it.
Not quite enough distance on it. Pulled down by Bishop. Bishop will push up the court.
That really would have made a difference. Would have cut the lead to 5. Drew with an excellent pass in the lane.
No good. Rebound by Fedak.
Pirates dominating the boards, and if you see a weakness at all for Valparaiso, it is rebounding. Oh, great hustle there, but Merrillville holds control of the basketball. Now they lose it. Drew 1-on-1 against Feedick, and a foul out front, so there'll be no shots.
Fedak picks up his third foul tonight as he fouled Drew before he went in for the drive.
Pirates have had the ball down 8 twice now. One time they missed a wide open 3, and the second time they turned the ball over. And here comes Dante Price, the freshman, back as Merrillville tries to make a big run down the stretch.
4:21 left on the clock. 54-46, Valparaiso's lead. Dante Price steps into the ball game for Merrillville's Mike Guernsey.
Drew shooting 1-on-1 at the foul line. Of course, his sister, Dana Drew, is an All-America player at Toledo in the Mid-American Conference. And his dad is the coach of Valparaiso University. Speculation that he will go play for his dad, but frankly, he's bigger than that as far as a Division I player is concerned. Obviously, no shame to go play for your dad, but he's a Big Ten player. And I would only think he'd go to Valparaiso if it was strictly out of loyalty to his dad. He could be an impact player for the Valpo Crusader program.
First free throws up and in, 55-46. Lead extends to 9 for the Vikings. Clock's at 4:21.
Price also a state-ranked tennis player. I believe he went to the state finals as a singles player last year.
10-point, 56-46. Dante Price taking a head-to-head up front. Pass across Gronowski. Pull-up jumper. No good. Rebound, Valparaiso.
And again, that was a pretty good shot. 12 to 15 feet off the baseline, just did not go down. And the Vikings, I think, want to pass the ball around a little here. Take about 30 seconds off the clock.
Price with the ball back up to Tim Bishop. Bishop to Finley. Back to Bishop on the point. A charging foul as Torrey Hughes is run down.
And really, that was not a good play by David Furlan. His coach is going to ask, where was he going? I mean, where are you going, David, on the baseline there? Merrillville's much bigger than you are. They got you shut off. Where are you going?
That's his third foul, the 6th team foul, so Merrillville's not quite looking at those three-pointers yet. Fedak back in after a breather.
And we're going to need a towel out here to do some wiping off under the basket as the floor got a little soggy.
And then really watch an eye on that after you saw Torrey Hughes go on early in the ball game. That's a dangerous prospect when a player drives the lane hard and loses his footing. So now they're really jumping on top of it.
Merrillville's biggest lead was 13-10 in the final minute of the first period. Valparaiso outscored the Pirates 24-6 in the second quarter. And in the first minute of the third period, the Valpo lead reached its peak at 38-19. The Pirates have cut it down to 8. It is now 10, 56-46 with 3:46 to play. Dante Price, the freshman for Merrillville, has the ball.
Price faces Bishop on top.
And he almost carried the ball there. Ryan
Shelton, the three, it's in. Whoa!
Oh my goodness. Where did that come from? Ryan Shelton, his first 3 of the season.
A 7-point ball game, 56-49, 3.5 left to play.
Valpo said, who is that boy and why is he taking that shot?
Shelton facing up against Drew now. It's Bishop against Fedak.
And it may be Bryce Drew time again. Time for him to take over against Ryan Shelton and make a play.
Drew dishes the ball off. Trying to make it happen himself. Working the ball around.
I think that's the 4th different defensive player on Bryce Drew so far tonight in the lane, and they're going to get a foul on T.J. Lux.
No, that's on Fedak. Fedak has to cool off. Fedak's 4th foul.
Boy, I didn't see that at all. It looked like
from behind.
It looked like Lux made the foul. It honestly did. I didn't see Fedak make the contact there.
Lux jumped in front, then Fedak jumped in from behind and made the real contact. He's got 4 fouls, I believe 3 here real quick in this 4th quarter.
And he has to stay in the game, obviously, for the Pirates to have a chance. He's the leading scorer tonight, leading scorer in the season, but tonight he has 18. David Furlan goes to the line, 6'4" junior. Missed a lot of last year with a knee injury. That really hurt Valparaiso in the playoffs. Oh, and missed a shot there. And now Merrillville with a big chance, and they throw the ball away.
Pulled down by Hughes. He threw it hot and high to Dante Price, and Dante Price ain't that tall to hold on to those things.
And again, Merrillville with a chance to really do some serious slicing into the lead, and they cannot do it. Dante Price coming out of the game. And Coach Jimmy's doing nothing but encouraging the young freshman playing his first varsity game.
Valparaiso brings it in. Bryce Drew with the ball on the far side. Nice pass inside as he catches Fedak looking.
That's the chance Merrillville has to take. They got to take the ball to Bryce Drew's hands. There's a steal by Tim Bishop. And Drew ahead. He should pull it back out. And he went to the basket. I'm real surprised at that. And a jump ball from Merrillville. Oh, they call a foul.
Oh, my.
Well, again, it looked like he had the ball. I was surprised Bryce Drew took it to the hole because he could have pulled it out and took about 30 seconds off the clock. The foul will be on Torrey Hughes. And actually, if you don't have the ball, you might as well foul there to put him at the line to shoot 1-and-1. Although Valpo, a great foul shooting team, they came in shooting 79.7%. But really, had they pulled the ball back out, the Pirates were going to have to foul them anyway.
Exactly. They're just taking their time and made them work the play instead of forcing it. But right now, Hughes and Fedak both have 4 fouls. Rims around and drops in.
Kicks it around and in for Bob Finley. And he has 5 in this quarter, 7 for the game. And he's been a valuable man off the bench tonight. Just as I say that, he misses that one, and Merrillville loses the rebound out of bounds again. Unofficially. Well, I don't know if you can call that a turnover because they really didn't have possession of the rebound.
Still fighting after loose ball on that one.
And the Vikings with a 3 here could really put this game away. They're up 10 with 2:25 to play.
Bryce Drew dishes the ball off to Dave Furlan. 2:22 on the clock. Valparaiso content to work the ball around.
Now the matchup is Fedak against Drew, and Brett's got to be careful. He has 4 fouls.
Bryce Drew on top again with the ball.
And they switch back to Ryan Shelton, and Shelton takes a foul.
Shelton puts the hands out. He needs a handicap to keep Drew's speed from burning them.
And in a situation like this, again, you're almost just as well committing the foul.
They put Drew to the line, 59-49, a 10-point lead with just 2:11 left to play.
Boy, Bryce Drew, a spectacular player. Over 1,000 points. He's the 5th Valpo player to go over 1,000. And I'll tell you what, he's shown you something that I didn't realize until thinking about it just now, and that's that he's played every minute tonight.
True.
Obviously, no health problems at all. He feels fine, and he's out there controlling the basketball at the end. Drew with 29, and that puts him above his season average.
1,024 points for his career. Knocked out of bounds by Bishop. Merrillville keep the ball.
Tim Bishop, obviously a great athlete. Going to Bloomington to play for Bill Mallory. Going to play football, number 23 in green. All-state wide receiver for Valparaiso and Coach Mark Hoffman this past season. There you see him. Dante Price in the backcourt. Pirates got to get into the 3 range now. They're down 12 with 1:50 to play.
T.J. Lux on top of the 3 line, not even looking.
Well, you need to make 3s, whether they're 3-point goals or 3-point plays in the lane. T.J. Lux will fire from the stripe.
No good. A rebound inside by Shelton. Shelton off the glass for 2.
Ryan Shelton with 5 here in the 4th. The lead is 10. Merrillville's got to put the man-to-man pressure on. When they get across the line, you really might as well foul. 90 seconds left.
Off the Bishop.
Oh, and Valpo almost turns it over down here. Finley. Bishop gets pushed. Actually, the referee could have called that, and it would have benefited both sides because I think Merrillville really wants the foul. But they don't want to foul Drew, especially with Torrey Hughes, who has 4. Bryce Drew, an excellent ball handler.
Clock's down to 1:12.
And a foul.
Shelton's 4th foul.
It's been a quiet night for Tim Bishop. Just 2 points. He came in averaging 19.8. But it hasn't mattered. They've gotten 11 from Mark Burnison. And actually, they're way below their scoring average. They came in averaging 81 points a game, and they have 61 here in the final 75 seconds.
I think the pace slowing down the pace from both sides. We saw Merrillville slow the game down in the first quarter. Really kept that scoring down.
And then you saw, I think, Valparaiso slow it down when Merrillville started to make their run late in the third quarter. This puts the lead back to 12. And pretty much does in the Pirates. And that's off Torrey Hughes out of bounds. Oh, my. And I don't think the ref saw that one well either.
Called off Mark Burnison.
And the Pirates are going to try to go a little inside out. You go in, then maybe kick it back out for the 3. Torrey Hughes in, and there's the kick out to Dante Price.
Inside to Fedak. Fedak over the top.
And really, Valparaiso should be giving away 2-point baskets at this point in the game. We're in the final minute, and the lead is 10.
63-53, 51 seconds left on the clock.
Oh, there's a bad pass. Oh, but Drew
saved by Drew.
Excellent play by Bryce Drew. And the Valpo kids chanting, "Let's play football."
They're saying just like football.
Oh, just like football. Yeah, I think Merrillville won, Valparaiso won 31 to, I think it was 31 to 17 in football, in a game that Valpo really dominated. And Tim Bishop was out there as well. Valparaiso will meet another major test in the Michigan City Holiday Tournament. Elston is undefeated and in the top 25 in the state. LaPorte strong. Rogers has slid a bit. No question about that. But the opening game will be Valparaiso and Elston. That's the opening game of the Michigan City Holiday Tournament, and that should be a classic. Merrillville will host their own holiday tournament starting the 29th. Portage, KV. Portage has had a great season. McCutcheon's coming on strong. KV, like Merrillville, rebuilding. So that'll be worth the money. $4 here at Merrillville. You'll see 2 games. Our next game, we're going to see the undefeated Hebron Hawks take on River Forest first week after the new year. And Josh Spinks, 6'8" center for Hebron. Coach Dennis Foster, he's got another unbeaten team, and hopefully he'll have that by the time we get there.
Second free throw is up in there, 65-53. Valparaiso sealed it off some time ago, 31 seconds left.
David Ferlin in double figures with 10.
Fedak pumps, puts up the long 3, too short. Hughes.
And again, Valparaiso should not be contesting the inside layups. You want them to lay in too so you can get the ball back.
A timeout by Merrillville will keep it right here. 22 seconds left to play, a 10-second difference.
This could have been embarrassing for Merrillville tonight. They were really getting bombed, but they made a real strong comeback in the third quarter. Valparaiso was going to get out of here with the Duneland Conference win, and of course Merrillville will be down in the Duneland, but everybody's down in the Duneland right now to Valparaiso. But from a Merrillville standpoint, they can't feel too bad about this because, again, they're 10 points down to the number 3 team in the state. Vikings have shown everything we thought they had. Might be a little weakness inside rebounding against a team like Elston, which is the next team they'll play. But they figured to get more out of Tim Bishop than they did tonight either. So that might be a little bit of a trade-off there.
Tim Bishop's points were down tonight as he went out there. A couple of threes, but he wasn't really as productive point-wise, but he did control the ball game. I think the major point, he was out there every minute of the ball game, and he controlled the pace of the ball game. A couple of beautiful dishes inside as he had a couple of great assists as well.
And Merrillville obviously will be a much better team in a couple of months. Coach Jimmy said, I wish we could play Valparaiso in February because we'll be ready to play them then. Obviously, Dante Price, the point guard, will be much more ready than he is now. And yeah, it's not a knock, but a freshman playing his first game, most freshmen don't play their first varsity game. I mean, they wait till they're sophomores or juniors.
So a great show, a little more maturity. He'll be a great player for Merrillville.
And Valpo's going to run the clock out, and Merrillville will not foul, so this will be your final score.
Final score 65-55. Valparaiso taking the dueling conference win. What type of points do you have there for the final rundown?
Bryce Drew with 29. He led all scorers, and he had 29 of the 65 for Valparaiso. For Merrillville, a good performance by Brett Fedick. He had 20, and Torrey Hughes had 14. Again, a 24-6 second quarter keeps Valparaiso undefeated and the number 3 team in the state.
I think a great aspect we saw tonight, too, the way Merrillville pulled together and really controlled their portion of the ball game as well. So Merrillville still rebuilding, but showing some great promise here against Valparaiso Vikings. A great team to meet early in the season and prove themselves this way. Final score 65-55. Valparaiso over Merrillville. That'll do it for tonight's US Cable Primetime Game of the Week. Next time we say River Forest out at Hebron. Hope to join us then. And thank you very much for joining us this time. For Mark Smith, I'm Joe Wells saying good night and thanks for watching US Cable Primetime Game of the Week.